Welcome to Retirement with Ease, a 4-part series where we discuss on the important aspects of retirement planning here in Singapore. This series is hosted by iFast TV and Infinity Wealth, where we discuss the ins and outs of this very hot topic, retirement. In episode 2 last week, the consultants shared their insights to proper asset allocation and how to fund our retirement years. For the third episode today, we are going to explore the topic on healthcare management in retirement years. Healthcare, of course, being one of the top concerns of all retirees, is going to be a commonly discussed topic when he or she reaches their golden years. And on my left, I have Jacqueline Chow. Good morning, Jacqueline.
Hi, good morning, Ryan.
And Jacqueline's a financial services manager with around 10 years of experience. She excels in formulating personalized retirement strategies for her clients. With a rich experience previously working for a foreign bank, she uses her expertise in wealth, risk, mortgage, and legacy management to ensure clients optimize their resources and reach their goals. What's your observations on what are the type of healthcare expenses we should be watching out for?
So I agree with Thomas on the broad categories. So if I were to give like 4 more specific examples, first would be the integrated shield plan premiums. Second would be the tools and aids for elderly. Third would be the cost of hiring a helper and nursing home accommodation. And fourth one actually would be the health supplements and fitness memberships. So if I go back to example 1, integrated shield plan premiums. We all know that the premiums increase according to age bands. So it gets more expensive as we age.
That's right.
To give an example, someone who is above 70 years old and has a private hospital plan, he will be looking at like around $4,000 to $10,000 a year premiums. Of course, it depends on which insurer and riders. And say for helper to say a nursing home, the cost would be around $1,000 to $4,000 per month.
Okay.
Health supplements and fitness memberships. So I see that the mindset has shifted from reactive healthcare management to proactive healthcare management. So people are more focused on their fitness, and I do see clients allocating a substantial percentage of their income to spend on health supplements or fitness memberships like gym and yoga. To give a quick example, I have a client that when I first met, he's around 60 years old. He had high cholesterol, high blood pressure, and his BMI was high. So 1 year later when I saw him, he had been going to gym every day and taking on health supplements and having a clean diet. His cholesterol and blood readings actually improved tremendously. And having said that, obviously he had been spending a lot of time and money on this. Yes. Yeah. So that's part of the cost that I would say would be taken into account.
Yeah, they say prevention is better than cure. Weighing in on the costs, prices of everything these days seems to be going up. So how much should we be factoring in the cost of medical expenses going up?
You mean to buffer for in the future?
Medical inflation.
Right. So if we factor in the medical inflation, right, assuming it's about 5% per annum, if you're looking at the premiums that I stated early on, about $4,000 to $10,000 per year, in about 30 years time, 20 years time, it can range from around $7,000 per year to $26,000 per year. Yes, that's a huge jump. So that translates to about $600 per month to even 2.3K a month just for the premiums.
Okay. And you mentioned a lot about this trend of people taking more supplements and vitamins. Is that cost also going to go up as well?
Definitely, because unknown to many, right? The medical costs or the health costs, and I'm sure supplements as well, the inflation is actually at a faster pace than our consumer inflation. So typically we would use about assumption of about 5% per annum to factor in. Let's say if you're looking at $200 per month now, you're looking at about $500 per month in the future. So if you're looking at around $3,000 per month a cost right now, you're looking at about $7,000 around that in the future.
Yeah, so medical costs, supplements, and I guess gym memberships as well is something you have to budget for.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, yeah, I'm thinking my friends tell me they subscribe to memberships. It's around, can be $200 a month. So I'm just trying to imagine how much that might cost in future.
Depending on what kind of gym membership you want, right? It can even be like 2-3K a month.
Wow.
If you are hiring a personal trainer.
That's right. Personal trainer costs really add up.
Yes.
Let's get you in on your views on retirement and planning for that. You talk about putting aside money just so you have enough for a nest egg when you're older. How about healthcare management? How much of a priority is that these days when you look at your clients?
Definitely it's one of the priorities. But the issue actually is that for Singaporeans, right, most of us belong to the sandwich generation.
Oh, okay.
So they have to cater for their kids and parents first. And even though many want to plan for their retirement, but they have not started on formal retirement planning till a much later age. And by the time they do that, it may be a bit hard to even reach their basic retirement goals. Even though, right, that's the issue, but we know that this has to have a priority because of what we have already discussed, that is really important.
Yeah, especially when you're younger, you're setting out, you've got a new house, you've got kids to pay, bills to pay. So it can be very hard for them to prioritize
retirement planning. That is something that they usually shove off to a later age.
Yeah.
But healthcare expenses for retirement planning definitely needs to have a specific portion separate from the lifestyle retirement needs.
Yeah, like pointing out, inflation is going to mean medical costs and medicines costs going up as well.
Yes. So a lot of people, they do not realize that the medical inflation, like I mentioned earlier on, is actually faster than inflation, and they are not aware. So they fail to realize that the rising medical costs coupled with inflation will have a double-edged sword on their costs in the future.
Yeah, I think it's not just costs going up, but the demand that you might need it when you're older. So you might not even realize how much of the medical services you need in the future.
Yes, that's right. Right now, we have a lot of subsidies from government, right? So people may see that their parents or grandparents are receiving a lot of subsidies from the government because they may belong to the pioneer generation. But the fact is that as an aging population, we will have more pressure on the funding of government healthcare systems. So there will be more reliance from the younger generation on private care in the future, and that will be higher cost as well.
Okay. And let's talk about reviewing what you have right now. So what are the things that you should be reviewing?
Reviews are very important, and it needs to be a holistic financial review with the consultant. Full holistic financial review meaning to have a full check, like a full health checkup on your finances, your inflows, your outflows, your assets, your liabilities, your investment assets, everything from all companies and all countries. One review with one person. Yes. So that you have a very in-depth discussion on how much retirement income is needed. That is the basic step. Then next, right, would be to talk more about what happens if there's like health shocks or accidents that happen. Health shocks meaning like unfortunate events like a new major illness like cancer, heart attack, stroke, dementia, or say the less critical conditions like diabetes, hypertension. So when that happens, right, who will be taking care of you and how much would be used to fund, and where would these sources or funds be coming from? Which assets to liquidate and which retirement plan is taking care of this? So all these, right, are what I reckon the basic steps to be done.
Yeah, I think your priorities change as you get older as well. Circumstances change.
Yes.
And Jacqueline, what are some of the things you think we should be taking away from hearing from you?
So if I were to zoom into the planning, I would say that it's very important to allocate a specific portion, ideally for healthcare expenses. So this buffer, right, in my opinion, will really depends on the kind of retirement lifestyle the person wants to have, the level of healthcare standard that the person wants to receive after having the discussion that I mentioned earlier on. And there should be a mixture of strategies and tools to allocate for this specific portion. And this portion should not be confused, it should be separated with the retirement lifestyle pot. So yes.
So you have to be very clear when you design the investment part and retirement part.
That's right. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Well, there you have it, the third episode of Retirement with Ease, Healthcare Management During Retirement Years. Stay tuned where we find out more in our last episode of this retirement series, Critical Blind Spots in Retirement Years. See you then.